welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Oline and I'm a knitter from Norway, and finally this week I'm going to be able to spend a week being a milkmaid again. I've done it twice before, but both times were before I had my son, and this week is going to be kind of a trial run to see how it goes now with a child. I'm really excited. The 2 summers I've done this before have been the best summers of my life. There's nothing better to do in the summer than being a milkmaid, so I'm really excited and I really want to share that with you. I also really hope to be able to do a lot of knitting. I remember from before that I was able to do a lot of knitting those years I was a milkmaid, but I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to do this year with a child, and also you never know when you're working with animals. But I thought it would be really fun to bring you guys along with me, both to show you how it is to work as a milkmaid, or budeie as we say in Norway, and to live it's kind of a cabin, but we call it setra when it's working with animals. So I just really wanted to bring you guys along with me and also have this to remember for later. I cannot put into words how excited I am to finally be able to do this again. I've brought with me all of my projects, but I'm not going to show them right now because we are currently moving into here. We just got here and we're moving everything inside here, so I'm not going to show all of my projects. But I brought my Korsvika jacket junior that I'm knitting for my son. I brought a cross-stitch pattern gift that I'm going to be giving away soon. I just cast on a new project on the way up here, the naked tee. I brought with me my Camisole No9 that I'm turning into a dress, and I brought with me yarn to make multiple slippers. I thought I'd rather bring more than enough yarn than too little, and in case I want to do multiple slippers I also have yarn for that. So I definitely have enough yarn for the 1 week we're going to be here. But yeah, that is it. I really hope you'll want to come along with me on this week. Even though I haven't been able to knit nearly as much as I'd hoped to yet, I've been able to wear plenty of my knits, and being here wearing some of our most traditional knitwear pieces makes me so happy. I can't put it into words, but it's definitely made me realize that I want to focus much more on traditional colorwork sweaters moving forwards and really deep diving into Norwegian patterns. I loved working with my father like this as a child, and I'm so thankful that I'm now able to give my son some of the same experiences. And it's also been wonderful watching him grow under the responsibilities here. Hi, I'm back with a little update. I don't know how many days it's been, but I do know that I've not been able to do as much as I thought. I've kind of taken with me all of my active projects here, and I thought I would be able to work on most of them, hopefully finish as many of them as possible, and I've barely been able to work on any of them. I don't know, I think I way overestimated how much free time I'd have, because even after we're done with the work here, still have to be a parent all of the time, so way overestimated the free time. And then I also forgot about the fact that we don't have any like electrical lighting here, so once it's dark outside, it's also dark inside, and it gets dark inside a little bit before it gets dark outside as well. So the main hours I usually use to knit, I kind of lose those because it's just being too dark. But I have been able to make a little bit of progress on 2 projects, and I hope as we're here a little longer that everything will kind of settle down and I'll get more knitting time, because I really need to get to a couple of projects now because I'm way behind where I should be in terms of all of my deadlines. But I have started this project here, which I've been able to knit quite a lot on because it's the easiest project to knit on. This is the Naked Tee by Nakedknit that I'm knitting in this unknown yarn. It's a really thin yarn. It's way too thin for this pattern, I think, but I'm using this. I love the color. I think it's silk alpaca or something. Really thin, lovely color. I think it will be great for a summer top or base layer. It's kind of too bright colored for you to be able to see, and it is really finely stitched because I'm knitting on 2.5mm needles and the yarn is too thin even for that. I am having a bit of an issue getting my stitches even since the yarn is so thin, but I think ironing or steaming it, washing it, whatever I'm going to end up doing will sort that out, because my stitches aren't too uneven, but they definitely are. And it does not knit up quickly. I've been knitting on this. Most of my knitting hours have gone towards this, and it just does not grow. And no matter how much I knit on it, because it is on 2.5mm needle, so it just does not build. But I've been able to do 1/5 maybe of the body. This is also knit bottom off, which has been a fun change from all of my other projects. So that is my Naked Tee so far. And then I have my main project, the one I want to work on the most and the one I should work on the most. This is my Camisole No9 Dress. It's huge. I'm going to try to show it to you, but here is the top. I've actually been able to finish the top part of it, while here I have done the last armhole edge, so I'm really happy about that. I also have with me try-on tubing, so I hope I'll be able to try it on soon. I just wanted to add a little bit more length through the body. So here is like the top part, and then move into the skirt part, which I've also been able to do quite a lot on the skirt part of this. And I think I started this week. I don't quite know when I started, but I've started making a lot of increases. So as I said, this is the Camisole number 9. I made decreases on the top to fit to my waist, and then after my waist I started making increases so it would fit my hips, and then I did increases here, 2 increases on either side every 4 rows, and then I got to like middle of my thigh, I think, and then I started making 4 increases on each side every 4th row, and then once I get below my knee, I think I'm going to go from making it every 4 rows to every 6th row. But yeah, those are the 2 projects I've been able to work on so far. I really need to start working on slippers. I really need to start working on embroidery. That's the most important deadline, so that has to be a priority from now on. And I also really want to finish a test knit that should be done by August 1st, but I don't think that's going to happen realistically, but I have a lot I need to work on. This should also be done while it's still summer, and summer is kind of nearing being over already, so I don't know if I'm going to reach all my deadlines, but the embroidery deadline is the most important one because that's for a christening gift. That's less than 2 weeks away, so I need to start working on that. But that is my little update so far on where I'm at with the knitting. I'm not much of a morning person, but getting up early is way easier when you have some coast to lean on and get warmth from. I almost fell asleep a couple of times. My son is even less of a morning person than I am, so he usually sleeps until we're done with the morning shift. today has been the first kind of calm day where I've had the time to sit down and think about what I'm doing and finally do something. So I have been able to do a bit on the embroidery today, not much. You can see how much I still have left to go. All of this is supposed to be filled with different things, but the first motif is now done. I'm really happy with that. I think it looks kind of great. I'm not the best at this cross stitching and it's taking me really long, but I have some hope that I'll be able to get it done in time. Hopefully things will slow down, and we're also almost done here. So this week of knitting is almost done. It really hasn't been a lot of knitting this week. I've been so busy doing everything else, but some weeks are like that. And it's been nice to do some other things than knitting as well, because I have been knitting a lot lately. So taking this kind of break that I didn't take willingly, but that was forced upon me, has been great. And I think now that I'll get more time to knit and cross stitch and do other things again, that I'm going to be even more motivated to do it. I'm really excited. Not the most excited to get back to this because it does take forever, but I have a lot of projects that I'm really excited to get to. All of the projects I brought here that I was supposed to work on. I think I brought 5 or 6 projects here, and I've knit on 2 and I've done a little bit on the cross stitching, so I've really not been able to do as much as I had thought and hoped, and as much as I should have done to kind of keep up with all of my deadlines. But hopefully I'll be able to get back on track, somewhat back on track, but it is what it is. And it's been a really great week. I really hope I'll be able to do this again next year, hopefully for a longer period next year. But this was kind of a trial week, so I can see how it worked out doing it while having a kid. And it's been really great, but not the most productive in terms of knitting. But I'm going to take this little free time I have now to actually get some knitting done. Hi, I wanted to pop in with kind of a final update now that I am back home. We've been back home for a few days now. We're back into routines, and I have to say it is much easier to get everything knitting related done while at home. I wouldn't have traded the experience for anything, but it definitely wasn't the most compatible with knitting. But I wanted to show where I'm at with all of the projects now that I'm back home. I'll just do a quick run through. This bag right here with everything Korsvika Junior related, I have not tapped into. I do not know what kind of delusional person was packing for this week, but here I have loads of yarn to finish the Korsvika jacket for my son. Did not touch this, but hopefully we are getting closer to me finishing this now that we are nearing fall. Also, another thing I did not touch was all of this yarn for the 4 pairs of slippers I thought I was going to make. Did not touch this, but at least now I have it here ready to go whenever I have time to knit slippers, so I can just pick from here instead of going to all of my slipper yarn and trying to figure out what to do next. I did actually finish 1 pair of slippers. I don't know if I filmed it because I didn't have much time to knit, and the little time I had to knit I forgot to film, so I'm sorry that this week of knitting was so little knitting related, but I hope you have enjoyed anyways. But I did finish these slippers. These are slippers from my husband's grandma. They are in size 36 to 37 in Drops Nepal in the beige color. I think this is the only thing I actually finished this week. And then, of course, the project I cast on my way there that I haven't really worked on since I got back home, the Naked tee. I have been able to make a little bit of progress. This is almost so bright that it's a bit hard to show, but I have made a bit of progress. I'm really happy with my progress, and I think this is going to be a wonderfully lightweight blouse to wear. I'm really excited for it. And then my dress, which is absolutely huge. I think the dress was what I managed to capture the best. I did work a fair bit on the dress each day. I just, as I said, forgot to film, and I was sitting in the same spot every day, so just filming me knitting. This is also so big, so you can't really see the progress I make, and then I sat in the same spot, did the same thing, so I didn't film all of the time, but I did do a fair bit on the dress, as you saw from when I tried on. I have done just a little bit since I got back home too, but it's not noticeable. I hope this will be done soon because I'm really excited to start actually wearing it, and I'm really excited for it to get to a length where I feel more comfortable wearing this dress. So really excited about this and glad I was able to make some progress. And then I have one project I started working a little bit on towards the end of our stay there. That has been my absolute main project since I got back home, because I've been super stressed about the deadline for this one, because this needs to be done tomorrow really. When you see this, this needs to be done because I am giving it away on Sunday and I need to do final touches. But I'm doing cross stitch. This was what I was able to do while I was there and working, and then since getting home I've been able to do this and the little start on this. So as you can see, way more productive at home, but that's usually the case where I know where everything is. We have our usual routines. It is much easier to be productive when you know everything going on. But that is everything from this week of knitting. I'm sorry I was able to do so little knitting for this week of knitting, but I hope you enjoyed coming along for the experience. If you did, please leave a like and a comment. That means the absolute world to me. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe. Bye!